decided to go do, understand the operations of the office. And, you go at, just like even when I was working here, you want to understand how are staff working. Now, those letters I've talked about, the meeting of 11th March 2020 is the only one that I have been able to lay my hands on since the promulgation of the new constitution in 2010. And unfortunately, honorable members, it is also my submission that, and I'm not accusing anybody, I don't like it, but I think this act has not been operationalized. The Office of the Attorney General Act has not been operationalized. That, I think, maybe in a sense I would want to say that this is what pushed me into looking at why are staff exiting in such large numbers. And I looked at this, I said, look, even when I make, I say we want to appoint a state council to go and work in some ministry, you hear sometimes you hear Public Service Commission saying, no, that's our work. You are the ones who deal with the civil servants. And I'm not saying that they should not be, in fact, in the proposal, which is here, which actually came from the Law Society, and it's the one that, I think it's the one that has made a proposal on the membership, which I would want to leave to you members to decide. I think it will not be, we do not want to be prescriptive. And I think the point raised by the Honorable Thierry Amolo makes a lot of sense, that to have a judge in the advisory board would be a bit, it cause some conflict, some inconsistency of some sort, because I think a judge will not be a proper member of such a board. But of course, this is a bill before Parliament, and I'm sure you members are best placed to. You can actually come up with any other proposal. I also want to say that the issue of an incorporated board is merely something that has been borrowed in this proposal from the Office of the DPP Act. I have not been able to lay any jurisprudential justification for it to be this way, save that I think it was just borrowed. But I think also, because the board is advisory, even the point made by the Honorable Tiende about voting is something that I would request members to look at and make some whatever provision you may wish to. Should you be agreeable to my request? There was the issue of, the Honorable Muturi raised the issue of the largest law firm. I wish it was possible, Honorable Tiende. I would want to leave a legacy of having run the largest law firm efficiently, the most efficient law firm in the Republic of Kenya. And for me to do this, I need to. That's why I want to implore on you and through you, the whole House, to grant this request, because, and I think it's not for me, indeed, it is for many Kenyans. I mean, when we have establishment since 2020 of 1,066, and today we only have 523, I think it speaks volumes. Is government serious about getting good and sound legal advice from people who are motivated, who are not overworked? State Council appearing in, doing about 1,000 cases a year, 1,000 files a year. Is that really something that we want to live with? These are also fellow Kenyans. Ni watoto wetu. We are really unnecessarily overworking them. Why do we want to do that? when it is possible to employ, and there are many qualified Kenyans who can take up these jobs. Justin Muturi has no particular position. I don't have a child who is a lawyer. So it's just for me, I think that we need to get as many as possible working for the state law. And that's because we also do train. We don't want a situation whereby we train and then the next day they are being taken away. In fact, more particularly, I think it is unfair for the Public Service Commission, which recruits for the AG, to then come and poach from the AG. I think it's really unfair. And they don't poach those ones they have recruited. They will check, they let them work for the AG 5 years, 10 years, then they will know, oh, this one has gone, this one has been trained in this field, extra field. That's when they will come and pick. I think it is not right. We should allow that those services be given to the rest of the country. Mr. Chairman, I think the other issue which was raised by Honorable Murray was the issue of the omnibus and the constitutionality of the bill. There is, is the other one? The government, the statute law miscellaneous, no. Government, yeah, I know the one with the public seal. Well, I'm sure members, I'm told yesterday, I was appearing before the African Court on Human and People's Rights in Arusha yesterday, but I read on my way back that the committee received quite some insightful, information about how that bill has found its way to Parliament. And I think it's also, somebody raised this issue. It is true when it is a government bill, usually it will start off with the policy. The policy from it, which policy must be also submitted to Parliament. If it is passed by a Parliament, then the executive, depending on whichever ministry or State Department, they will be able to extract those issues from the policy that will require legislation. At that time, they involve our office in the drafting of both bills. And actually, those bills also end up in cabinet. So that cabinet gets apprised as, yes, you passed this policy, it went to Parliament, Parliament passed it also. It's from that we have been able to extract these legislative proposals. We would want cabinet to also discuss them, debate, agree, propose amendments, after which the AG will process them and transmit them to the Houses of Parliament. But once the AG has submitted, the bills will get the ownership of either the leader of majority or the chair of the committee, because we do not have government in the House. I just want to say that I haven't seen that with that one, and I think the committee was given as much brief on that in that regard. So I am assuming that maybe with some time there will be communication. And you see, unfortunately, this time we are lucky that we have a substantive holder of the office created in Article 154, which is the office of the Secretary of the Cabinet, who is the one that communicates in writing, not by word of mouth, that even though you have been sitting in cabinet, she communicates that this is what cabinet decided. So if she appeared here and told you that she never saw it, she was right. But I can confirm that the bill was at some point brought to the AG's office. But many people are asking where it has come from. So maybe I'll leave that for the committee to, the committee is well placed to deal with that, I'm sure.
We are seized of the matter and we have the jurisdiction to deal with it.
To my mind, and without being your counsel, just for clarity of these members, because some of them may have that concern. We were told by one of the organizations that appeared before us, this problem has not been there since this Attorney General came to office. So is this a Muturi problem? Many people have appeared here, and it's good for the information of members, because these members have been told that this thing has never been there. There has never been a problem until this Attorney General came to office. So it has been labeled as if it is a Muturi problem. So for purposes of members also, when we sit, I thought it is also because you have been accused. You have been accused by the people who have come before us.
Good thing. My very, very firm position is that the Office of the Attorney General Act number 49 of 2012 has never been implemented the way it is. And if we are to implement it the way it is, we'll not even be having the kind of shortages that we're having actually, the kind of complaints that we're having. But if, as I've been able to demonstrate, my predecessors have written, it is not me. I've had meetings. I've held meetings. Say, look, you have had me, this communication has come to you, pleading with you. Please, we have staff that have stagnated. We need them to be appreciated. No response. When people were recruited, actually at the time I assumed office, there were a number of state councils that were recruited, I think about 30. I think several of them have since left. Because, and of course, there are just too many, this connection with the Public Service Commission has not worked well for the Office of the Attorney General. And, things must begin somewhere. If it is Muturi that says that this act should be implemented, there's nothing, I'm only saying, please, let's follow this law. It is not, if it has not been followed in the past, we cannot bury our hands in the sand and say, no, wacha iendelee vile ilikuwa. Yet we continue appreciating that the state law office is understaffed and has got a number of demoralized people, very senior officers, many of these ones. And fortunately, I'm happy, Mr. Chairman, that I'm actually here today, because a lot of the staff in the legal departments of both houses of parliament, many of them are former officers of the Office of the Attorney General, including one of the clerks of the houses of parliament, a legislative drafter from the Office of the Attorney General. So it is true that maybe I'm making the plea to actually this is the right forum for me to make this plea that please, now that I'm sure Parliament is now settled now with the legal departments, it's fully well established. And I'm quite proud about it because I see them in court. They do quite a thorough job. I just want to plead with Parliament to now give me a chance to prove that also the Office of the Attorney General, properly equipped, can deliver for this country.
Thank you so much, Honorable Attorney General.
But I think maybe for purposes of members who does not, maybe at least who does not know in a company scenario who holds the seal, in a government scenario who holds the seal. So again, so at least also as a committee, we can be able to address that issue with a bit of light from our Attorney General, kindly.
What we do is we have a session tomorrow on bail. I think we need to know whether you can make an appearance and you comment on all the proposals we have and give us your legal insights as the chief government legal advisor, whether you have advised on all those, right? If you're not able, then you go to send us a memorandum.
No, unfortunately, Mr. Chairman, tomorrow there's a cabinet meeting, and there's an earlier meeting at before 8. I wish it was possible.
Can we get
his favor until the submissions he has eloquently made may be lost? So just say that I reserve my comments. I have ideas to it, many of which coincide with the Speaker Emeritus.
But that honor used to come from when he used to sit in the House as an ex-official member of Parliament. But since the
Honorable the Attorney General for the very eloquent presentation. I think the two things, in terms of justification, I think that has come out very clearly, where in terms of, for myself, but I'm interested to understand, these people who are appointed as, because I think one of the points that came out is that there is interference, where people are appointed without your knowledge, and they are posted outside the state law office as it is. But if the law is that the Attorney General shall appoint state councils and those other ranks in consultation with the Public Service Commission, how then are they legally appointed without the correspondence of the Attorney General? That's just something that I was thinking. And this question, because that is the only question, what is, because your case is structured around the uniqueness. It's structured around the uniqueness of the state law office and all the things that are happening. So where does that uniqueness in terms of the constitutional nomenclature, where is it? Where is it? Because that's been the argument. While the DPP is expressly independent, the Attorney General is not. So what is the constitutional and legal justification for this? And I have my ideas, but it is better when it comes from you. An appoint on behalf of Chair, it was Mogaka, then Moreo, then Senior Counsel.
Thank you so much, and one more, Mr. Speaker, and the Honorable AG.
Independence. I've looked at the provisions of Article 156 and Article 157. Article 157 makes it very, very specific in regard to the office of the ODPP, that he shall be independent and shall not take any instructions from anybody. But when you look at the corresponding provision in Article 156, there isn't an explicit indication of that independence. And when you look at the roles of the Attorney General, I will say you serve a specific client, which is the government. You are principal legal advisor of the government, and you represent government, of course, taking into account the public interest. Will this, if we succumb to this, Honorable AG, not open up a floodgate? Many other of the sagas and other departments will also want to say we want to separate ourselves from the Public Service Commission. Because what the Public Service Commission basically does is to give a recommendation. And a recommendation is basically a recommendation. Thank you.
That question I would like to hear from you. And the second thing is that, well, this committee oversights the Office of the Attorney General. We would like to know more at a later date about that government transaction unit that you talked about. Thank you.
Honorable Makali.